What's up, guys? John here with Malevolent. We're back with another Six Samurai video with other John. He's here to show us some of the combos with the Six Sam deck. Also just explain his reasoning a bit. A lot of people commented and just wanted to know a little more about the deck, so here he is.
So I looked over a lot of the comments, and it seems like some of the struggle came with Lordly Load, and so I want to explain what the main end goal combo is and how you utilize the Primite cards to go about that without necessarily locking yourself. So obviously, in order to go full combo, you need to have Chamberlain and Anarchist. Granted, you play lots of different ways to get to either of these, but the main combo is Chamberlain, Special Summon Anarchist, Synchro into the new Xian. Xian is going to search and Anarchist is going to search. And so Xian searches a monster, Anarchist is going to search your Asceticism. Since you control Xian, you can special summon, activating the Asceticism to summon the other Chamberlain from your deck. Allows you to then just go into the Nat Beast. Since the level 2 went to the grave, it searches your Book of Moon. And ultimately, that's what your main end board is going to be. This deck is extremely low ceiling and is really just there to simplify the game state as much as possible and stop your opponent from playing. Between a monster negate, a Book of Moon, and infinite spell negates, generally you're gonna simplify it pretty quickly, as most decks can't play through a lot of that. Most decks extenders are either a monster effect or they're a spell, and so if you Book of Moon their main play, you then have the backup to stop whatever they're gonna do next. I saw a lot of questions about, well, what happens with Ether Barrel and why is it the best normal summon if you'd rather summon that? Ultimately, it's more about getting to Roar than anything. I don't search the Drill Beam unless I already have access to either a vanilla without having to use Loads effect, or I really need to search it and I'm willing to gamble the nib. Because ultimately, your main goal is still just these guys. And so if you do start with the Ether Barrel, you are going to set your load and activate the load, but instead of adding Drill Beam, you just add the Roar. And then because you technically have a monster on the field, you can't activate it, and so you activate the effect to send a Chamberlain to the grave to clear it off the field so that you can Roar that Chamberlain back from the grave. And then you're back to having your vanilla with your tuners. The reason why I like it is because it sets up the loop of the Ether Barrel every turn, and so while you're not getting Drill Beam right away, you're guaranteeing, for the most part, that second turn, which then gets everything back on rotation. If you open up with Roar, that automatically gets you to the vanilla. If you open up with Lordly Load, that gets you to the Roar, which gets you to the vanilla. Even if you want to play it dangerously and go for the summon and then the set of the Drill Beam, activating the special summon, I only really do this if I already have access to the other tuner, because I'm still going to end up special summoning, synchroing, and doing all of the same stuff. The only difference is I can't activate the search for that one, and so if you already have it, you can special summon. If they happen to nib you, your nib is going to still turn into a Book of Moon and a Drill Beam for a turn, and then you just continue to win from there. And so even getting nib isn't the end of the world, because the token itself counts as your normal monster. You still have the Book of Moon for their initial play, and you're almost guaranteeing to have that second turn, especially with all the other hand traps and non-engine that you end up playing. I think where a lot of the misconceptions were coming from was people thought it was like a major wombo combo deck, and it's not. It's just consistency and recursion, and that's really all it's meant to do.
All right, so yeah, when you're using the Primite stuff, you don't care that you're locked out of monster effects because it'll make you miss out on like the Xian search, but you're still making your synchros anyway, right? Yeah,
the big concern that people have is for the nib, since I don't have the monster negate. But again, even if I get nibbed, I've gotten everything online that I need online. It's going to be a really fat token, and they're not going to be able to break past it. So it's not the end of the world, even if it does happen.
Gotcha. And like you said, very much a mid-range deck, not so much wombo combo, so you're doing a lot of the ground combos with non-engine and,
Yep.
you know, having a lot of backup. All right, thanks a lot.